Hello everyone, Dave here back with another video. Apologies for lack of uploads. I feel like I'm always talking about how little I upload. It used to be once a week and now it's like every couple of weeks, and I've come to a point in this channel's life where I kind of am just gonna upload when and if I want to. I know that's kind of like not good for a growing channel. I understand that. But I just, I don't want this to become like something I feel like I have to do or feel like a job or a chore or anything. I just want this to be a fun little hobby that I have, and I hope that comes across in my videos. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out here with me. But anyway, we're going to do a manga haul. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've taken a break from buying manga just because at the time there was a lot that I still needed to read. But I've caught up to pretty much everything. I've read every piece of manga that I own, obviously, except for a few of the new ones that I just got. But then also just because of money, this is a hobby that can really add up. If you're going out there buying every new release, and especially if you're like me and collecting a bunch of different series at one time, so that can add up. So this is the first haul, and it's not even that big of a haul. It's 6 volumes of manga, but I want to talk about them. Also, it was my birthday recently, so I kind of like wanted to treat myself a little bit. So yeah, let's do that. So first one is volume 13 of Dragon Ball Super. I picked this up. I am collecting Dragon Ball Super. It's not a manga that I'm like, oh, I gotta get the new volume. I'm super like excited to see what goes on. Like they are doing some cool stuff in here. They're fighting Moru right now. He's a pretty interesting villain. At least, comparatively speaking. But they're doing some cool stuff. They're letting some other characters shine a bit more. It's not just Goku doing Goku stuff. So I'm liking it, but again, it's not one that I'm like, oh, I gotta go get the new volume. It's basically, I basically picked this up because at my local game store, I've been getting back into Magic, so like I go there usually every Saturday, maybe every other Saturday. And to use their game room, you have to spend $10. So I say, okay, I'll go and I'll pick up one volume of manga. And they didn't have anything there this week that I was like super into, so I just thought, you know what, I haven't read any Dragon Ball Super in a minute. We'll just pick this up. But yeah, I mean, I like that I did. A lot of shonen manga are good for like reading in one sitting because half the pages are just action shots with no words or minimal words. So there's not much going on. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to read these. But yeah, it's a fun, quick read, and yeah, it's good. Next, we have volumes 9 and 10 of Blue Lock. I love Blue Lock. I made a video, if you're curious as to like my more in-depth thoughts on Blue Lock. There's a video in my like manga, like reviews and impressions playlist. I instantly fell in love with Blue Lock. I'm a big sports guy. I like sports manga and anime, and Blue Lock is really interesting. They're getting into some fun stuff. I'm curious to see where the series goes, because, avoiding spoilers, obviously, but they're starting to build their 5-member team, and I don't know if they're just going to keep going to 11, because that's usually like a full soccer squad is 11 players. Or, well, not a full squad because you have bench players and stuff, but like those are the players for your team on the field at a time. So like they're kind of getting to that point. So I'm curious to see what they're going to continue to do afterwards, after Isagi's team has 5 players. Like, are they going to, obviously I would think that they would wind up battling another team with five players, but Um, it's just interesting because you've got a lot of like really talented players on the squad that it's like, okay, what are you gonna do with these characters? Because there are some characters that we haven't seen for a few volumes now because they got left behind. So I'm very curious to see where that goes, where that winds up going. So it'll be interesting to find out what goes on there. And I'm curious to see. I'm always curious to see where the story continues. I started reading volume 10, so I literally just started it, but we're making our way through. And the movie, episode Nagi, comes out tomorrow as of day of recording. I'm going to try to see it at some point. I have a busy weekend, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Blue Lock. It's really good. Next, we have volume 2 of Go-Go Loser Ranger. This is one that I wasn't sure I was going to collect because I read the first one and I really liked it, but I've been collecting a lot of others, but I'm slowly kind of finishing up some stuff, and and there's other stuff that I'm like not collecting as heavily as I thought I was. But this immediately struck me as interesting because it's basically, what if the Power Rangers were just like maniacal egomaniacs, and that makes for an interesting concept for me. There's a lot that goes on in this series. Like, again, not trying to, bring spoilers abound, but this is not really a spoiler because it's said in the first, pretty early on in the first volume, if I can find it here, in the first Go-Go Loser Ranger here. Basically, the Power Rangers, or the Ranger Force, or whatever they're called in this, I don't remember, but they're actually kind of working with the aliens that are invading to, like, basically keep their ratings up and keep people thinking that they're doing a good job, even though they're not. So that's an interesting twist. And also, these guys are just brutal. Like, there's one scene in here where he just, like, the Red Ranger just, like, beats the shit out of his second in command because he, like, kind of spoke out of turn. But he just goes off, which is pretty crazy. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. Next, we have Volume 9 of One Piece. I don't need to talk about One Piece. The anime was too long for me, so I decided to just cut my losses and start reading it instead. I was pretty decently into the anime, so having to reread everything is what it is. I could have always just started the manga where I was, but my OCD wouldn't let me do that, so we're starting over, and that's fine. We'll get there eventually, and Lord knows I don't have the space for 100+ volumes of manga right now, so we'll stick at number 9 for a little bit. I accidentally picked up 11 a while back because I thought I was further along than I was, so I should pick up 10 at least, so that way I can catch up to where I am, but it's fine. And then last but not least, we have Volume 4 of Sakamoto Days. This is another manga I've been really getting into lately. It's a very fun concept, former hitman, changes his ways and opens up a convenience store with his family. It can be very cute, it can be very funny, and it's a fun concept for sure. So, I don't know many people who really haven't heard of Sakamoto Days at this point. It's actually been pretty popular. I would assume it has an anime adaptation at this point. I could be wrong on that, but I know the manga I've heard a lot of people talk about and a lot of people really like. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And it's another one that I read in one sitting because it's that good. Now, contrary to like something like Dragon Ball, yeah, you do have instances like where it's just action panels and not much dialogue. But it also is just super well written to where it keeps me invested. Like, for as much as I love Blue Lock, for example, I usually don't read it all in one sitting because there's a lot of discussion going on, and it either takes up time to where like I lose attention because I've got a kind of a short attention span. Sometimes it kind of depends on the thing, but that's a whole nother topic. Um, but sometimes there's a lot going on. There's a lot of talk, or something like Dr. Stone when they take a whole page just to tell you how ice cream is made or whatever. I don't know. So that stuff may take a minute, but something like Sakamoto Days, I can sit there and read and read and read, and then the next thing I know, I'm done, and I'm like, oh, whoa, that kept me hooked for the entire time. So I don't know, it's cool, and maybe I'm alone in that fact of like, oh, I can't sit through an entire volume of manga anymore. I used to be able to as a kid, but here I am getting older. I mean, I just turned 28. I'm a grown ass man now. I either don't have the time or the intent or the attention span to sit there and read an entire volume. It's very rare that that happens. So when there's a book that keeps me intrigued for that long, it's got to be a pretty good read if it keeps me sitting there able to read the entire thing at one time. So, but yeah, that's my little haul. My hauls usually don't get much bigger than this because I try to, conserve my money the best I can and also conserve the space because, as you know, or may know, after I moved my manga collection into this closet, so I have very limited space to continue on. I can't fit another shelf in here unless I move my comic books, which you guys are propped up on right now. And I don't know if I want to move my comic books. I've slowly kind of tapered back my collecting of comic books. I've kind of gone back to strictly manga, at least for now. But I still do love comic books and I want to keep them around. So I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll see. But yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing more of this space, I have my most recent manga collection video. That's in my collections playlist on my channel. I have my comic book collection video. I have the tour of the entire closet because you're seeing a good portion of it now, but there's stuff up top on the shelf here. There's a shelf behind me. And I'm planning on building it up more, putting more things on the walls and making it a little cooler and nicer. And you guys will get to see that process as I decide to upload. Because as we know, I don't upload regularly, which is unfortunate, and I really would like to change that. I have a few ideas brewing for some projects that we can work on together. And yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, yeah. All right, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Happy birthday to this guy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.